popped a pill or two, more's not enough. But I need more of you. I'll drink you down and chase it with violet hues. The sweet bitterness, the taste on your lips. Your cocaine kisses make me better. Babe, you're in my veins and you know it's true. I can't feel my heart when I'm high on you. You see red, you're raging. I can't seem to care, 'cause yayo's all I'm tasting. The sweet bitterness, the taste on your lips. Your cocaine kisses make me better.
Hello, peace everyone, and welcome to Who's That Lady Music Show. We're all things music all the time. Each and every single month, we have fresh new music on the horizon. And when you think of sultry dream pop, we think of Leezy. Leezy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your time. And as I mentioned, the type of sound that you have, how do you describe your sound and what influences you?
I think sultry is a great description. I also have used like hauntingly beautiful, because some of the melodies, some of the instrumentals are sweet, some of them are darker, but it always, to me, when I listen back to it, has a very haunting quality to it. So yeah, that's the best I could describe it, I guess.
That's great that you describe that, because one of your songs has that sultriness to it. One of your singles, Sierra, which describes that in my opinion, a haunting, dreamy soundscape that explores your personal journey in sobriety. Could you describe the creation of your music video and how that relates to your song?
For Sierra, I worked with Bluestone Pictures in New York, and we had this vision. We really wanted to have like something to symbolize sobriety throughout the video. So if you've seen the video, there's kind of like this white silk that is floating around, and throughout the video I'm kind of chasing it and trying to like grab it, and by the end of it I do end up getting it, and it sort of like wraps around me in this very like artsy, dramatic way. So that was meant to symbolize my sobriety and kind of the struggle that happens internally when I was working to get there, basically.
The earth spins beneath my feet, dancing and painting white roses red for you.
So that the scarf pretty much just is the metaphor
Yes.
of your journey, pretty much.
Yes,
Okay. Because
exactly.
in the beginning of the video, you're in the snow pretty much. It has
Yes.
like the backdrop of the buildings, and this probably just describe of, I think snow is also a metaphor. I don't know if you ever heard of the song by Gil Scott-Heron, Winter in America, how things go dark in society. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that plays on that.
Yeah, no, we definitely had a vision of snow, and we were lucky. It was like an insane snowstorm that day. So it was freezing cold, but it was worth it because we got the shot. And yeah, I mean, definitely was intentional to portray the darkness of everything and that whole experience that I went through.
Oh, wow. That's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. You know, that song is very courageous, you know, very, very, very to the point of, this is my soul. I'm very vulnerable, and you were able to express that. That's very brave of you, of sharing that with your audience and with the rest of the world that sees the video. It's a beautiful video, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. I absolutely love to share about my journey. I found, especially when I was in treatment, that there's a lot of power and vulnerability, and sharing and being open about what we go through as humans. And in being so open, I found that literally everyone I talk to has been touched by addiction in some way in their life. And yeah, I just always want to be open about it because I think it's still a little taboo. Even though we're progressing, it's still a little taboo to talk about. And I definitely want to like create a safe space for the people who listen to my music and someone who might be struggling.
And that's the magic word right there, the safe space, you know, when your listener, as well as other musicians that gone through similar experiences and talk about, you know, their journey in that way, that pretty much someone will hear it, and even in the most darkest moment, the music will shed that light. And, you know, I just find that to be amazing. Now, tell us more about your in your songwriting process. What usually comes first, the lyrics or the music?
I feel like the lyrics tend to come first. I feel like I'm a writer at heart. So I have like a daily journal that I've kept since I was like 10 years old. Like I have like tons of journals just stored away in my boxes. And always writing like, you know, notes app poetry and stuff. So yeah, the lyrics tend to come first. When I think of things, I'll write them down, and then from there I will go sit at my piano and punch out some chords and just kind of see what flows. And it's definitely become a very like cathartic thing for me and a huge part of my own healing process.
That's amazing. Speaking of which, you mentioned you use your diary and other journals that you have to inspire and motivate you as a singer and songwriter. Are there other tools to the trade that you use that brings out inspiration as a musician?
I think for me, a lot of what I write about just comes from my personal experience. So different relationships with people, romantic or platonic. Also like people watching, observing how other people interact with each other, listening to other people's stories, all of that. It's people and like the human experience that inspires me the most, I would say.
Now, speaking of another inspiration that you have, your latest single, Cocaine Kisses, could you tell us a little bit more about the process behind that?
Cocaine Kisses is cool to me because it was an idea that I had before I went to treatment to get sober. So it kind of has like a double meaning to me. I always want to leave my like interpretation up to the listener, but for me, originally it was like a, you know, a sexy love song, you know, that drug-induced like party life. I just thought it was like fun. And then I went away and then I came back to the song in the quarantine, and I was feeling very reflective, and I was just like, you know, I think this song could still be a good one to put out, because for a second I was like, well, it could be, you know, romanticizing drug use a little bit and whatever, but if you look at it from a different perspective, which is where I am now, almost 3 years sober, it's a really interesting look inside what it feels like in addiction. Like, there is a sort of romantic aspect to it, because I think a lot of people internalize the experiences that they have on drugs, and it becomes a part of their personality, or it becomes a part of a connection that they make with someone else. So yeah, that song's really special to me. I think
I love the song. I love the song. And the video is so black noir. It has that that silver screen from the 1940s and 50s. I was like, this is really dope. I love it.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, and we will also share that with our audience during the interview. So when they want to check out the video, they will. If you have an opportunity to mentor an artist, an emerging artist, what advice would you give them?
It sounds cheesy, but I think it's important to stay authentic in your story. Walk into your story and own it, I feel like, is the biggest thing I've had to learn and that I've struggled with. Even just with being on social media and sharing the things that I'm creating, it can be definitely scary, and definitely you can start to have a little like imposter syndrome, a little like, well, should I be doing this because maybe people will like this more, or should I act more like this other artist that's really popular? Like, it's easy to compare yourself, and it's easy to second guess what you're putting out there. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, I've learned is just staying true to yourself as an artist and create what you like and what feels honest to you.
That's a great answer, because a lot of times with new artists, they're oftentimes compared to their favorite or to some other person. And in my show, I try to stay away from that, because it's more about the sound, whatever sound you cultivated and want to share. So that's a great response to that. Staying true, staying with your authentic self as far as your sound, how you want to project, and what message you want to bring to your audience and
yeah, because
anyone.
I feel like music is completely subjective. So I fully acknowledge that not everyone who hears my music is gonna like it. Like, that's just facts. But whoever needs it will find it and will support. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, and that's a hard one too with the internet. The internet these days, I'm like, always the hate comments, always the comparisons, but yeah, I'm definitely working on staying on my path, on my journey, and kind of horse blinders to all the noise.
That's great. And that's a great advice to have for anyone for that matter, because a lot of times, you know, those little, sometimes you have like 1,000, oh, this is great, this is fantastic, and then you get that one little
that one will get you. That one will really get you.
And you forget about all the wonderful, comments from everyone else, and you focus on that troll. It's like, why you don't like me, or why do you say these things? So, that's another great advice to give to the music audience to stay authentic, stay true, and put those blinders on. Don't be distracted by the social media junk.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
And if you have, like, for instance, if you have a time machine, let's go back in time for a minute. I'm going to give you a second to think about it. If you have a time machine and you got a chance to work with 5 of your favorite artists or producers,
okay,
who would that be?
Okay, I would love to sit in a room. You said 5?
5.
Okay. I would love to sit in a room with Jim Morrison from The Doors. I'm really obsessed with any artist that their lyrics just feel like poetry. Like, you could just dissect for days and days.
Mm-hmm. The Lizard King.
Had absolutely amazing lyrics, and I would love to do like a co-writing session with him. Also, another one, I'm not sure if you know, his name is Elliott Smith. He's one of my favorites. If I had a time machine, I would definitely want to write with him, and I would definitely want to go see one of his shows. Also, there's a trip hop band called Portishead.
Love them. Celebrated their 25th anniversary last week.
Oh, really?
The debut album, yes. Was it last Monday or Tuesday?
No way.
25 years. Dummy.
I love that. Yes. Dummy is one of my favorite albums. And again, obsessed with Beth Gibbons, obsessed with her lyrics and her writing. Like, so she's definitely one of them. Okay, 2 more. I'm like, I would say, I always hesitate to say this because this also is one of my biggest comparisons that I get, but I am a big fan of Lana Del Rey, and I would absolutely love to get in the studio with her and pick her brain and write together.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love her stuff too.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say lastly, I don't know if you know King Cruel.
No, never.
Okay, well, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, would love to write with him too. He's another very experimental artist, like brings in a lot of different genres together in his production. And yeah, I think that would be a cool collaboration as well.
That's a dream team list.
Yeah, it's a good list. I take pride in my list.
If even Lana Del Rey and Elliott Smith happened,
Right?
That'll be a great start.
Yeah.
As far as current projects, are there any current projects that you're working on? And also, is there a new album on the horizon?
There is a new album on the horizon. My very first full-length album will be coming out in October. I don't know if I'm allowed to leak the name yet. So
please.
I won't say too much.
Shameless plug. Plug away.
But it's coming out in October, and I'm really excited because it's sort of all about my journey and everything that was happening leading up to my decision to go to treatment and get sober. So it's kind of like the story of my rock bottom. And then, yes, I mean, I basically write every day. So there's not a lack of music. There's going to be lots of new music coming out for sure.
Oh, that's great. So we're going to be looking at a new album in October. So I'm so looking forward and super excited. Now, last but not least, where can our music lover find you online? And also, are there any shows coming up?
Okay, well, you can follow me on TikTok at Leezy, Instagram at LeezyMusic69. I don't have a Twitter. I'm on YouTube, same thing, Leezy. And I actually did have my first rehearsal with my band last week. So I've done a few only like acoustic stripped down shows, like just me and piano. So I'm working on putting together like a full-fledged show. So definitely there will be some shows coming up, and you can stay updated on my TikTok and Instagram.
Fantastic. Leezy, thank you so much again for coming on our show. I know you've been super busy with all these other activities that you got going on.
So busy. I appreciate you for having me and letting me shout out myself.
Yes, this is like a 30-minute plug usually.
Yeah,
I always
I
have
love
the
it.
artists
I
come
love
in
it.
and share their gift, and I love sharing everybody's gift to the world. So here you are, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lady Elix of Who's That Lady Music Show, along with Leezy. Leezy is spelled Leezy.
Look at all the pretty faces come to heal from different places. You give it all away in hope of a better day. And I promised you that I'd get well. The night is touching me. The earth spins beneath my feet, dancing and painting white roses red for you. Yes, I'll get well soon. To get well for you.